What's up, everybody? Chris over here, founder PaulandATrading.com. And hey, thanks for showing up. I promise to give you really actionable trading information, markets information, ways for you to actually, I guess, prepare yourself for what's going on, what's going to be happening in the future, maybe future proofing. I need you to like, I need you to subscribe. I need you to do that for me. I need you to share this video with as many people as you can, please. I need to get this thing going. I need to make it better. And when the likes get going, it gets shared out there. When people subscribe, they're like, hey, they love this. Let's keep them going. I'm going to keep bringing these to you as the markets develop and as things need to happen. I just need you to do that for me. Okay. Good example. For about the past week, after we got that Bitcoin bottom, it was quiet. Nothing. Bitcoin went up. We did it. And it was quiet. You didn't need to hear from me. And then, was it yesterday or the day before? I did my first video in about a week about Bitcoin and what was going to be happening in crypto and everything like that. And here we are. We took off. We took off through that range that I talked about on the futures. I'll show you that on the chart here in a minute. We did all that. And yesterday, alts kicked off. So, okay. I know you're sitting here thinking to yourself, like, Chris, yeah, I'm not into crypto. You know, I'm a regular old trader, and I just want to trade regular markets. I don't want to trade crypto. Crypto is where all the criminals are. That's the scams. That's the moon boys always talking about I don't know, moons and laser eyes and dogs and cats and I don't know, JPEGs. And I'm actually here to trade for real. I'm a professional. I don't need to do that. And look, your job is to make money. Your job is to not lose. And that's what I'm going to get into right now. Your job is to not lose as much money as the economy is growing. Okay. If you can't do that, then you're not doing your job. If you can't make money at all, you're not doing your job. And new assets, unregulated, let's say, it doesn't have to be unregulated, but like new asset, new markets, new involvements are the best places in the world to be investing. The returns are so much higher. And I'm going to show you what I mean here. Going with the old, going with the slow, going with all that is not going to work. We need to realize that in 2009, when the US government just decided to start printing the money, that your value of your dollar just continues to go down. Okay, I'm sure we all get that right now. That's fine. That doesn't really matter so much, but I'm gonna break this down for a little bit here and show you how important it is to be in new emerging technologies, to be in the technology markets, to be where they are actively deploying massive amounts of capital, leveraging technology and not humans, not low leverage, not low leverage to get that. They're using very high leverage methods doing that: computer, AI, robotics, autonomy, things like that. New financial model, like, cryptocurrencies. All these sort of things are where the future is. And continuing to focus on the past will continue to give you like past type returns. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of kind of LARPing as a macroeconomist here, macroeconomics guy or a macro guy or whatever. I'm going to LARP, live action role play. I'm going to take a look at some of this stuff and, why I don't need to. Hey, thanks. Like it. See that? Why, you like, Chris, why don't you have a Bloomberg terminal, and why aren't you spending your entire day just like researching all this, all the macroeconomic type stuff and yelling about the governments and the Fed and all that sort of stuff? Because you don't need to. This is the only thing I need to see to know where I need to be focusing my research. and focusing my capital when I invest. That's my only job, is to make money. And I share that journey with you. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing and you're like, hey, this makes sense. I need to go that route. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to share my screen. And what we are looking at is a distribution of returns since 2009, the global financial crisis, market bottom, when the US government stepped in and bailed out everybody. And as we were the global reserve currency, the world basically couldn't do a thing about it, right? We are the reserve currency. And if you try to mess with that, we go to war over it. So we have the strongest military in the world. We're at least going to ruin your society if you start messing with the world's reserve currency. So, you may win the war or whatever, but the point is it will be, nobody wants it. And so in 2009, when our system was no longer sustainable, it changed. We got to a place of everybody's on board now. We're all running this funny money stuff. We all agree that that's how it is. We're all going to trade in dollars. Yes, there is that whole BRICS situation and all those sort of things. But what we want to be looking at is if the value of a dollar if you had $100,000 back in 2009 at the very bottom of the global financial crisis, when the market just bottomed and has ripped ever since, if you kept $100,000 in a savings account since then, your buying power would have been deteriorated quite a bit. That $100,000 could have bought you, maybe in 2009, you could have actually bought a house. In 2020 or in 2024, that might get you a down payment on the house. So 20% of the value of the home, where it was 100% of the value back in 2009. That's probably 20% of the value right now. So I'm going to go through for a couple of assets here and show, where it is, where we are, why this is important to be looking at new high growth, investing in technology, investing in new economy things, places that are absolutely 100% participating in that new style and obviously proven, and what is not working. Okay. So the most obvious thing here is the NASDAQ is up 1,260% since then. It peaked in 2021. It came down 500% and has now started to put in a new high. So it took about 2 years of wearing out the 2020 stimulus. So our first stimulus was right here in 2009. There you go. Right, it happened here in 2009. Our second one happened in Q1 2022. Okay, you can clearly see that was an obvious move there. Things came back. So this thing that we're seeing right now is actually more of a new normal than this thing. Just go with me on as we see it. Okay, so if you weren't in technology, well, you could have been in medium caps and made about 600%. So half as much. You could have returned half as much as just being long the NASDAQ by being in mid caps. Which S&P performed 100% less than that. Russell, which is like of the asset classes of equities, not that great. Obviously, you're at 300%. 377%. So almost 400% return in 15 years. 1,200% in 15 years, 377. The next best investment, at least, of what I'm kind of bucketing as asset classes, the first thing we can say is growth of growth equities, growth companies, technology largely is has been the best investment since 2000 ever, really. Um, then we have orange juice. Orange juice since then is up 300%, and it's about 300% in the last couple of years. Gold up 123%. That's it. Okay, so for all you gold bugs who are really worried about, you beat the market kind of, but you're like, it's nice to have, oh sure, it's great to have gold and to save a little bit and be ready, if you ever need it, that's fine. But you're not going to get wealthy hoarding gold. Now, housing price index is up 116%. So it's doubled, which I think is I think that's low. But that's what it's done in the last 15 years. The US GDP is up 93% in that time. Cotton, 74%. Global GDP is up 66%. So the US is growing 50% faster than the rest of the world. You got coffee and sugar at 62%. You got cocoa at 61%. You got the price of eggs up 48%. You've got crude oils only up 25%, and the dollar is up 18% in value since the global financial crisis. Okay. Now let's fast forward let's bring it to the 2020 stimulus, okay, which happened right summertime is when they distributed the checks. Is that right? It was here. Okay. Somewhere between July and April. Is that right? Is that April? That's April. Somewhere between July and April is when the stimulus really kicked up. And one thing we can see is it's a completely different picture. Orange juice continues to outperform everybody. You've got cocoa, you've got coffee, you've got crude oil up 82%. That's wild. Probably because that's when it went negative. So I wonder if I do something. Yeah. If I skip the period where crude went negative, it comes all the way down to a lesser area. But nonetheless, we'll let crude have its day. We've got sugar, we've got the NASDAQ, eggs, S&P, housing, GDP up 40%, GDP up 40%. That's the same as small caps. Small caps are up 40% in value since then. Even the NASDAQ, after getting its butt kicked, is up 65%. Global GDP is only up 18%. Gold, 15%. Again, not going to make money doing gold. And then the dollar, 4%. Okay. So that's about where we are. I'm going to go back to 2009 because this is where it all started. And this is where Bitcoin was created. That's a blip. Even the NASDAQ at 1,200% in 15 years growth can't compare to the 876,000% growth in Bitcoin since it came out from the global financial crisis. Again, now we'll go to 2020. It's 362% from the global since the stimulus of 2020. Bitcoin is up 362%. OJ remains the second highest. Okay. So if you're a gold bug, you obviously are at least leaning to the idea that you are not making any money. And you probably have heard positive things about Bitcoin. So you're really being taxed being a gold bug and not being in Bitcoin. Or pretty much anything except technology. You could definitely have bought your soft ags. And by the way, I trade OJ, cocoa, coffee, cotton, sugar. That's what I trade now. I don't trade, and I trade NASDAQ. I don't trade gold. I don't trade rates. I don't trade um, crude oil. I don't trade any of those. This is what I trade. When I day trade futures, and I still do that, I'm trading the softs. I'm trading the things that are, look, man, this is where the money's going. This is where it's all happening. So I'm in it. Okay. So in technology, money flows to the new thing because the new thing needs capital. And the new thing in technology is taking down the incumbent. Whatever's expensive, technology's job is to go in and make it cheap. Okay. So prior to Facebook, let's say, when you wanted to have a social experience, you had to like do a like if you wanted to meet up with your high school, everybody from high school, you had to do a 5, 10, 20-year reunion. So, you had to wait a time, and then you had to get in buy your ticket to fly there, get a hotel, rent a car, get tickets to the event, dress up, do all those things. And that took a long period of time. You sign up for Facebook and just, within a few minutes, you're over there hanging out with your high school friends. That's an idea of how technology took an expensive thing, social experience, and turned it into virtually cost-free for you experience, right? We know that, yes, the price of the iPhone has gone up, for example, but at the same time, the capacity of what you can actually do with an iPhone has gone way up compared to what you could do, let's call a phone half the price 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Let's say 15 years ago, the cost of a cell phone was like half the price. But of course, all you could really do was talk on it, text, and, maybe, check emails or something like that. It wasn't really all that useful. Now, like, there's businesses that just run on multi-million dollar businesses that just run on one person's cell phone. I know people who make millions of dollars that don't even have a computer. And all they do is they are online for their business. Use it for camera, use it for gear, all that stuff. It's incredible to see. So technology goes up, but the price of that technology definitely doesn't go up. Like what you should be paying for the iPhone, if the capability of the iPhone today existed in 2008, let's say, it would be a $20,000 iPhone. The best laptop or desktop computer back then probably wasn't even as capable as a regular iPhone right now. Okay, so new technologies come in and they accrue value because they're providing a solution. Bitcoin's big solution is that it provides a store of value for you, and online kind of you're opting out of the prehistoric financial system, post Bretton Woods, post 1974, 71, whatever it was, gold standard, post global financial crisis, where that was the third financial system we're in. In 2009, when that hit, that changed everything for our financial system. That proved it in 2020. So we know that if you're going off of the old historical way to do it, which is, go get a job, buy a house, pay your bills, you're going to get left behind. And the people with all the money right now are certainly not going to be sharing that money. They're continuing to hoard that money. They're going to live longer. They're going to, vote for their people in office. They're going to, they're going to vote for people who are going to take care of them and take care of their money and all these other things. And that's going to put everybody else in less of a situation. So you need to catch up in order to take advantage or get ahead. Otherwise, you're going to remain down in the low end of all this. So we have a new technology comes online in 2009, and it's not a new technology. It's in essence what it is, oh, this is the new economy. The government who runs the world financially and the biggest military in the world, they've went out and they've done something new. They went out and they just started printing writing checks for whatever they want. They just went on credit, and they are their own basically creditor. You just have to believe them. And when that happened, Satoshi created Bitcoin. And that's why Bitcoin has done what it did, right? Because it was made during that period. And so it is a reflection of that sort of thing. So if you actually want to participate 100% in how that's doing it, there's your product to do it. If you're not doing it, you're trying to be cute about it, and you're not doing the basic math. You're not doing the you're not playing the right game. You think you're playing the game, but you're not, because everybody else is playing the same game, and you may be getting ahead of somebody else in that area, but you're really not getting ahead of anybody. You're all kind of losing together. If the herd, kind of like, if the herd's all doing the same sort of thing, and it sounds comfortable, and people are like, well, that's the right way to do it, how many people do you think are actually getting things right? So a new technology comes online, and it continues to outperform in a massive way. But guess what? Bitcoin doesn't solve every online financial problem that exists. It doesn't. It's not the best at what it does, at what we need now. This is 15-year-old technology, Bitcoin. It's still better than anything else to compare it against. I mean, you could go buy, in essence, you buy the NASDAQ, you buy tech. If you need to be in an equity like thing, you need to participate in that environment. You be in tech. If you can be in crypto, that's better. There's less people, less competition, less regulation, more opportunity, and the people are trying that are doing it are weird, right? They're not your normal folks. They do laser eyes on their Twitter accounts. They buy JPEGs for hundreds of thousands of dollars. They experiment with things. They understand. They build things. They do things, right? That there's utility to a lot of the cryptocurrency stuff. You can see where AI using tokens and crypto using tokens can do these transactions, microtransactions of millions of transactions, like that, to accomplish things that right now or otherwise you would need humans intervening to try to approve, deny, approve. Think about having to approve a million requests, deny or approve a million requests that just come through, and you get a week to do it. Still blow you're dead. You're smoked, right? A computer, of course, could do that in a second, but you don't have if it's without a blockchain solution, you don't have the trust that you have one party doing it, the other party saying yes, and then the third party confirming it. And if it's wrong, the third party denies it, or the second or the first part, somewhere in there, they deny it. Okay. That's where it comes in. And so you get things, new technologies that come to the space like Ethereum. And Ethereum has, since the 2020 period, a 1,600% return. Okay. Versus Bitcoin's 558% return versus the NASDAQ's 100% return. By the way, if you're a tech investor, you're crushing, you're beating everybody. You're in NVIDIA and Microsoft, right? You're there. So you're already beating everybody, but you are like, let's just add NVIDIA. Let's see where that goes. So NVIDIA is up there right now with Bitcoin. Actually, better than Bitcoin. NVIDIA is. Let's go back to 2009 and see if we can see what it is. Yeah. NVIDIA is the second best investment since the global financial crisis. Okay. Another clue that technology is where the money is going. It is accruing all the value. All the value is being accrued by technology. Okay. So Ethereum comes in, and let me go take NVIDIA back out because that was that. So Ethereum comes in late to the party, 2017 or so, and now it outperforms Bitcoin. So You can see it's more of a declining thing on actually that's not a good way to do it. Let's go back to 2018, 2017. So it came in late. So that's why it's good to do it from 2020. Okay. So Ethereum comes in and it outperforms Bitcoin. Now, in the beginning, Bitcoin, huge, 866,000%. But now those returns are dying down, right? Then we have Ethereum, huge. But now those returns are starting to die down. Then we get Solana. Solana, a new type of technology for blockchains. Whereas Ethereum was doing smart contract transactions, but it was very slow and very expensive. Solana comes in and says, cool, we're going to do super fast transactions and they're going to be super cheap. It's going to cost you a penny to do, or $1 or whatever, to do something in a second instead of $100 and 15 minutes on Ethereum. Or, similar sort of transaction on Bitcoin during a similar thing. Okay. So now you can see things like Solana came out at right around the time of the financial crisis, or I'm sorry, the 2020 stimulus. And in fact, when did it come? It was somewhere in that time frame. It comes out and it just destroys everybody. So Bitcoin's up 300%, Ethereum's up 900%, Solana's up 3,400%. I think the numbers should be a little different. October 2020. There we go. No. Yeah, 1,600% for Ethereum, 3,400% for Solana. Bitcoin, 500%. So you can see technology continues to crush. It does. We get it. But the new technology, the technology of Solana, and then we can look at, some of the other ones, some of the newer projects. We've got AVAX, that's doing okay. We got Near, we got Link, we got ICP, we got IMX, we got Say. All these new ones here. And what I want to draw attention to is if we go look at what's on the list over here of things that ICP's old. So, I mean, new, it just came out. So it's not really, and Say, actually, I don't think Say, I don't know how old that one is. Actually, ICP is not that young. So you got the newer stuff coming out right now. Solana is leading the way. It's the new hot one, where Ethereum was the new hot one back here. And now we've got on my list of things that outperform the NASDAQ, we've got Near, we've got crude oil, apparently. I think I need to get that to, yeah, because there we go. Once we can eliminate the crude, like zero negative rate thing, but that's why I have to adjust it. So you've got things like above the NASDAQ, you've got sugar, you've got crude oil, you've got coffee, you've got cocoa, you got OJ. This is why I'm trading those things and not trading S&P and not trading the 10-year and not trading gold and things like that. Because OJ and cocoa, and that's where the huge bull market's at right now. And so that's where all the money is going. And so you want to go where it's easy to make the most amount of money. And then the rest, everything else above those things is all crypto. All the money is in crypto. Even counting the bear market. Even counting the bear market, Ethereum's still up 900%. AVAX up 790%. Say up 360. Bitcoin, Say and Bitcoin are up 360% equally. Link, Near, all of them are up compared to, then we get into the commodities, and then we get into technology, and then we get into eggs, then we get into housing, and then we get into small caps, and then we get into global GDP, then gold, all the way down there, 15% returns, and finally the dollar. So the dollar should be basically flat. Now let's go, just for fun, to the 2021 peak. We'll go back to that. So now we're comparing October, right in here is where the market peaked. Okay. Okay. I knew, say it's an old one. So, or it's a brand new one. So we'll just, that skews off. I'll use that in a minute. But what we can see is since the 2021 market high, OJ has returned 100%, cocoa, eggs, housing, GDP, gold actually showing up for once. And then we get to, so from the 2021 high till now, you're at 8% on Bitcoin, you're immutable, Qcoin, 75% down on near AVAX. Like, it's painful in that spot. If we look at it from just the high, the last high where, everybody who just got into crypto finally bought, at best, they're down 8% on Bitcoin. Most likely about break even, which is why we're at basically a bit the same level right now on Bitcoin and not moving because people are back to break even finally. But there's a lot of bag holders who are down 20, 50, 75%. Now let's go to the October 2022 lows. This is where the market bottomed a year and a half ago, October 2022. This is where the market bottomed. Since then, Solana's up 900, IMX, AVAX, ICP, near link. Everything is crypto. Cocoa, NASDAQ, OJ, indices. We've got gold up 13%. Congratulations, gold. You're leaderboarding for once. You're just a poor asset to hold as an investment, a very poor asset to hold as an investment. It does not provide value. Just fear mongering. Luckily, eggs are down 41% since we bottomed. And of course, we could just go to we're not even adding, by the way, this ends October 2021. So Bitcoin is at that point in time, 28,000. We're at 45,000 right now on Bitcoin. So NASDAQ's all-time high. Like, everything has happened. A lot has happened since then. We're not even into 2024 yet to see where the results are, if that makes sense. You see what I'm saying? Because GDP and everything is like, report into my dashboard here late. Now, the thing about crypto is since then, that would have been October, the crypto market outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum itself went from 200 million, would have been $200 billion market cap to a high of 400 billion, a double in market cap in 3 months. Now it's about 370. So still almost a double in market cap in that period of time. We look at our chart here, right? We're still looking at, so this would be 670, 67. So 6,000%, we'll call it 12,000% now. We'll call all of these at least doubles. So AVAX 2,000%, Ethereum 400%, near 300%. OJ's where it is. Yeah. So everything is entirely moving to, as far as percentage wise, into crypto. Okay. So I'm not going to, I'll do more on that if you guys, want. Just let me know in the comments if that's interesting. Let's talk about Bitcoin now. Okay. Bitcoin broke out as we talked about. Bitcoin broke out just as we talked about, and so far it's holding. Okay. One thing I don't like is let's do this. Let's do BTC. All right, 15-minute chart, regular trading hours on Bitcoin futures. We had a gap this morning. Okay, so there's still a gap down here. There's still a gap that will need to be visited. I'm almost certain, down to 44.6. So 1,000-point lower on Bitcoin is possible. 1,000-point move down on Bitcoin is possible. By the way, not that big a deal. Average daily range for Bitcoin's 1,500 points. So whatever, no big deal. Let's go to 744, 720, I think is the number I'm looking for. 1440. Okay, so that brings us down to 44.4. So still at the breakout range. So basically a breakout, a pullback, and a go is the design. That's pretty much what we would expect to see. Who knows? We could always come back in here and chop out more. But I will say we got the in essence, we know NASDAQ is going, right? We know the NASDAQ has been ripping. We know the S&P 500 has been ripping. They have gone to all-time highs. And Bitcoin and crypto is still very far off all-time highs. So if you feel comfortable owning tech up here and buying more technology up here, that's what you should do in a momentum move. If you're comfortable about that, then you're in tech, but you know it underperforms. What is not at all-time highs is Bitcoin, crypto, tech, new tech is not at all-time highs. And in fact, it's about 50, it's got a 45 to so about a 50% move just to get to all-time highs, whereas NASDAQ and S&P are already there. So in a shorter term sense, even though we're like hundreds of percent outperforming tech or NASDAQ and whatnot, there's still a long move before we even get to the previous high. The thing about Bitcoin is when you take out the previous high, so this was 500 to 20,000, and it didn't get, once it finally took out its high, that wasn't the end. Everybody felt like it was kind of the end. It took a break there, but then it went from 20,000 to 65,000 and eventually 69,000, right? So we haven't even, we're at about 50% right now. We're halfway between the previous high and that low. If we look at that, this would be, that would be the equivalent of this rally right here, this area right in here, okay? And it took some time, but once it went, boy, did it go, okay? So we're right there. The difference being is we didn't have a buy signal over here. It happened over here. So our buy signal happened here. So we're ready to go. We got our altcoin signal, long signal. Where is it? Here it is. We got our buy signal back at the end of January in everything but Bitcoin and Ethereum market. Okay, so our alts. We got our buy signal, and this is just my own proprietary index of these names. But in January 27th, we got a buy signal, and right about that time is when we flashed below. I was sitting, waiting, watching my shopping list here for things I wanted to buy. And when they hit, when we get to those levels, I buy. So I bought here. And then on Solana, because Solana is the one I want. Solana is right now the big winner, and I believe going to be the big winner again. Now it's going to rotate because Solana is going to start getting older and money is going to flow into new technologies. Okay. So we're still in that sweet spot for Solana. This thing's up from what the original entry back in October was at 23, made it all the way up to 127 or so before the exit at about 95. Re-entered over here at 80. And then I added yesterday. Yesterday was my add, and that's when everything started to take off again. I got a buy signal here, but it never formed. And so I let the curvy type pattern play out. I got my curvy buy. So I went long there. Instead of just waiting for that to buy, I took that. Another thing that's super important, One of the things that I focus on so much in life is when the best looking sell setup in the world fails, that's the best thing, the best time. That's absolute best time to be buying it. There was an outage in Solana this week. They hadn't done that in 340 days, 345 days. It was 20 days away from a full year without having an outage. It had an outage. That is not bearish reaction to an outage. This is like a major issue for this is a major issue for a lot of companies, right? You go out, they drop what 40, 50, 80%, and then maybe come back when they back online. This didn't even drop. All it did was just give us a place to buy more. So heading into this next cycle up, this next, we're in a secular bull market on crypto. And it'll play out for another year and a half, and then we're done. And then we'll be going to our other system. This is what we're doing. The crypto group, I'm giving you guys a little bit of insight, not everything, but this is the algorithm we use, and this is how we manage the algorithm. Now, I am going to, I'm not going to tell you everything we bought yesterday, but 1, 2, 3, 4, I have nine. I'm going to share this next one with you. 9 new positions. 8 of them are systematic algorithmic. This one was also, but this is actually going for a long-term play. And it's this thing called Kudos USDT. If you're in the United States, the only way currently that you can buy this is on Binance US. Now, you could have an account at KuCoin or other places. If you're international, you can get this no problem. But for us in the States, the only place we can actually do it is Binance US. Why? Well, I don't know. But so the buy signal happened back in the 25th when I was buying everything. All the alt signals happen right here. And I just hadn't been watching this. But I have since. And it started showing up on my screens here. And this actually really got my attention because if go back and look at Solana during that same period of time, this was the outage, right? Yeah, or not outage, but this was the 20, somewhere around here was the signal, right? The bottom area. So it's gone up from 80 to 100. So 20% or so, 25% move. This thing has almost doubled in that period of time. Almost doubled in that period of time. That to me, that's strength. Now I want to be buying strength. I don't want to be buying weakness. All-time high, 12 cents. This thing's trading at a penny and a half right now, 0.015. Now, what does this thing do? Where's my notes? I have my notes. I'll tell you about this one. The reason I'm bringing this up is this is actually a longer-term investment for me. This isn't a systematic algorithmic trade through the crypto group. This is actually an investment I want to be in because I think I actually have an edge here. It's given me the algorithmic edge that I need, but also there's something very special about this. So let's talk about it. I'm very bullish on DePIN, so decentralized physical infrastructure. Very big on artificial intelligence, GPU usage. This is a distributed cloud computing product. It has, let's focus on some of the areas that it gets into: AI, digital twinning, metaverse, real world assets, getting assets from the real world onto crypto, blockchains, real estate, car, things like that. And Web3 node infrastructure. They're a layer 1. So we get the technology things out of the way. These are the things I'm looking forward to invest in. I want to be in the bleeding edge of technology, and I want to be in things that are going to potentially be at the latest edge. Remember, the money goes to the newest stuff, and that's where you get the highest value first. You just have to be right. I'm not telling you about the downside of all these. Plenty of these go to crap, but I'm going to take a small position in this. This is a $146 million project. Okay. Been out since I think 2018 or 20 somewhere around there. Again, they're only listed on Binance US. So let's, you could see they're on KuCoin, Bittrex, Poloniex, HTX. You can get them on DEXs. But the only way for, a regulated exchange in the United States, you can buy this on Binance US. Their all-time high was 12 cents. So this is this was all-time high was actually 12 cents. This was a weird print, but it was on the listing coming on Binance that happened. So right here, all-time high, that's, we're at 1 penny, 1.5 penny. So we're still, what, I don't know, 8x, 10x from here. And then if we actually do what we should be doing, then that should go to, 20, 50 cents in the bull market, assuming it just plays out like everything else in the bull market. One thing I want to give you a quick heads up on is this is not yet listed on Coinbase. The Coinbase listing could send this thing to that 27-cent target that I'm thinking about before we even get to the bull market madness. This could be one of those 100,000x moves just randomly. So be prepared for this thing. I'm going to start doing a little bit more work on monitoring this and building that sort of system out, but keep an eye on this one. Kudos USDT. I just bought it today at 15. Tell you exactly what I bought it at so that there's no confusion. I bought it higher than this, so don't worry. Let's see. Does it tell me? It's taking forever. Trust me, it was higher. Let's drop down to an hour and I'll see what I paid for it. Because it was 2 hours ago that I bought it. So 1, 2, that would have been 15,131. So currently trading at 15,034. So 1/1000th of a penny higher. So I own it like right here. Okay. I own it like right here. So I'm sharing this right now before or after I've done the trade, not to front run you, but I just had the idea and here I am passing them on. I'm, not doing signals for you. So anyway, hey, if you guys want to trade with me, pollinatrading.com/crypto, you can join the trading lab. We trade this 24/7, 365. I also day trade the futures in there every day. And that's where I do a lot of live streaming and a lot of work there. If you're really, really, really interested, you can join the private crypto group, the Momentum group. It's very limited number and it's very expensive. So it's not for everybody, but if you're interested, I would love to see you in there with us. And we're building some really cool stuff. I got some really impressive people in that group. And ironically, it's really, really, really impressive people from, like real Wall Street firms on the algorithmic side. So, and in addition to some other, there's some fund managers. Anyway, it's a very nice group to be a part of. I'll catch you guys all later. Love you all. Bye.